Hello everyone, welcome to an intro video for the infant FFQ version 3.0 parental portal project that was developed this semester. Just a quick note that there's a similar project out there for the clinician portal, and that's going to be handled by another team. Let me just get started with this one. Basically, the problem that we're trying to solve is basically infant FFQ questionnaire that was developed by Dr. Christina Palacios and her team to try to measure and track a better way of doing this for infant nutrition, because nutrition is important, especially at a very early age, for growth and to develop healthy habits for individuals. So in this iteration of the project, we were asked to develop the parental portal of the infant FFQ. Already there existed the questionnaire and the admin portal, and kind of how that works is to fill out a form that you go and you base it off of the nutrition that you give your children based on their age, and it'll take you to basically what are the nutrients that were involved there. So in this go round, we wanted to put more power into, let's say, the parents and the clinics, and give more ease of access to information like this. So this was the project management that occurred throughout the semester. Just to go over like the stories. These were some of the stories, like some of the main ones that were required, which is basically the different access of pages for the parental portal, a few things that needed to be touched upon from the previous iteration, and also the user authentication system, which was an important piece for both the parental and clinician portal, to tie together the admin portal that was already implemented before. This is a use case diagram, mostly from the parent side, as you can see in the left, and it tracks their life cycle of like how they would use the system, and the different implementation that was put into place for the actual project is shown here. And here are some sequence diagrams for the main pieces. One of them is the tracker, and the other one is the food description, which is the recommendation part of the system. This is the overall architecture, similar to the one from before. We just had to add a few new systems, mainly for the login and authentication, and the portals themselves. So clinician and parental was the one we focused on for this project. This is the system deployment, kind of a high-level overview of how that came about. And the security is just a way to the user authentication system needed a way to track and put together parents and clinicians, and tie basically like which questionnaire goes with which clinician, which parent, what can they view, and those type of things. So that was addressed with the security side of the user authentication system. This is a class diagram for the tracker with parents in mind, and this one's the same but for the food description, which led to the recommendations page. Some test cases. This is like a sunny side test case, which is basically the history. If you go towards the history for a given user that you logged in, then you should only view that person's FFQ history. So you don't want to be able to see other parents' completed questionnaires, because it doesn't pertain to the person that's logged in. And this one is a rainy day test case. Basically, it's based off the breast milk implementation that was asked during the project. And this one, it's an ask that basically said if a formula is given to an infant and you would put that in the questionnaire, and you also give it breast milk, then breast milk had already a predefined set of volume depending on the infant's age. And so the formula, what you would do is you would first calculate the formula, see how many ounces were given like on a daily average, and then whatever that difference is between that calculation and the breast milk, then the remaining amounts is what you would give as breast milk. But in this rainy day scenario, what we did was we put into the questionnaire a formula amount that would far exceed this breast milk predefined volume. So, for example, here it says 1,000 a day, and so the purpose of this is to say, if you exceed breast milk, then the volume of it, I dare say, then that should not come into its calculation, and that's described in the results here. And that's pretty much a summary of what happened, and I'll show you some screenshots in a bit. Basically, the login system was a huge effort that came into play on how this infant FFQ version 3.0 came about, and that's where you tie in the admin portal that already existed with the parental portal that was implemented here and the clinician portal that was implemented by another team. And so now you can pretty much view which questionnaire goes with which person, and a clinician can view a given parent's information base if they're tied to that clinic or that clinician, let's say. Here are some screenshots. Basically, this is the questionnaire prompt to tie in to see how you start a questionnaire. A clinician will give you a valid ID. You go in as a parent and you begin the questionnaire with that ID. The FFQ history, once you complete a questionnaire, you'll be presented with a breakdown of the information, and this is an example of that. Recommendations is basically an overview of what's recommended for you to give to your infant based on a food group. So this is a good guide for parents to use. In addition to this, we have the tracker, which is based off of the recommendations, and you can literally track how you're doing for your infant on a weekly basis or however it may be. So the next time you submit a questionnaire, you gain favorable nutrient calculations based off of the recommendations that I showed earlier. And then finally, based off of all those things, once you complete a tracking, you'll have the history that you can view as a parent to make sure you're on top of those nutrients and your infant nutrition. That's it. Thank you for joining me in this intro video. If you have any questions, you can reach out to any of these people. Thank you so much.